Welcome to a new Deity game here with me, Adrenaline. We're looking at an East Asia map, Deity settings of course. We have the usual disaster level 4 as well as monopolies and corporations and tech shuffle and all the rest of it. The usual standard fare, Deity, online speed and so on. It's turn 33. We've met a couple of other fellow civilizations, and of course because this is a true East Asia start map, we are playing as if the actual game is replicating the real world. So the people that we're meeting, of course, are Mongolia and Korea, because that's obviously how East Asia is. We would be finding them naturally, as well as Hong Kong, a city-state nearby over here. We've befriended Genghis. We're still needing to befriend Seonduk, although we are very close to it. We could look to try and sell her something. This is an acceptable deal, maybe. I would like to wait till my horses are full before I do that. Open borders will probably get us the edge for now. And of course, we need to make our religion. Now, religion may not be essential in a diplomacy game like this one will turn out being. However, it is still useful, especially for the pagodas. It's exhausted, so we're going to have to pass the turn. We have a couple of cities, and we're hoping to try and find more land in and around to make more cities over to the west, especially. You can also see that the terrain, given that, obviously Asia has the Himalayas, a lot of it is mountainous and hilly, and so we have quite a bit of hills trying to walk around, and that can be a bit difficult for like movement of units and getting our settler here to make the third city just short of loyalty pressure. However, it is of course in a way a double-edged barricade, if you will. It's slow for us, it's also slow for any barbs to get to us, and it will hopefully provide quite a nice amount of production. There's of course a lot of trees over here, a lot of wood tiles. Also means pretty decent appeal, potentially, if we want to go down getting national parks and the like. So, so let's get to our religion, shall we? We are the second religion, so we won't get all the best options, but most of them for sure. That allows me to delete the original, our usual name. So they have Feed the World here, and that's pretty nice. In a Diplo game, you don't really care for work ethic like potentially a science game would. You don't really care for reliquaries like maybe a culture game would. So I think Feed the World is actually pretty nice. And along with Feed the World, we will want to get Holy Order. Now, again, Holy Order is kind of default. It's not necessarily the most Diplo-centric, not that many of these are, and of course are categorized in their symbol. But most of these I really don't care for, and Holy Order will help us get at least the other apostles to further evangelize this religion. So we're halfway. We're almost getting to normal age. We just started a new era. Are we in a dark age? We are in a dark age. That's fine. There's not really much to worry about that. And maybe the loyalty pressure values will relinquish past this era. And maybe this is our opportunity to potentially get a heroic era as well. Alright, so as by the book, we're going to look at Qin Shi Huang's kit. However, I'm not going to take that detailed an approach to it, and the reason why that is because recently I did a video of Kublai Khan for Religious Victory. In fact, it was just a couple of videos before this one. You are more than welcome to have a look there as to how I discuss the things that they share in common, which is a lot, because he obviously is a newer leader for both China and Mongolia, and I was playing the China version in that game. However, there are some differences, and this is an opportunity to have a look at them. Most primarily being the first emperor. When building ancient and classical wonders, you may spend build charges to complete 15% of the original wonder's cost. Builders receive an additional charge. Canals are unlocked in the masonry technology. Now, obviously, that is an culture-oriented benefit, but it by no means is restricted to culture. For starters, because simply builders receiving an additional charge is an incredibly powerful thing regardless. You know, you need to get liang for that for one city, or you need to get pyramids for that, which is, as I've said before on online speed, the hardest wonder to get. However, we aren't going for a culture victory, we're going for a diplomacy victory. This will still help us, because in a diplomacy victory, there's usually a certain path I like to take, and that involves getting two specific wonders, Mahabodhi Temple and the Statue of Liberty. I might go get some other ones, Orzagaz, or anything else that might be on offer. Usually I'm doing more than just two wonders in a game, but it depends. However, so many different games and win cons can benefit from having these abilities. The masonry technology for canals? That's extremely early, isn't it? Masonry is ancient era, so that's very strange how early that is. But hey, canals are a way of at least generating era score, if not potentially gold along with it. And I believe also buff industrial zones if you are going that route. Again, industrial zones are semi-important for the projects that you want to complete with a diplomacy game, but it's still not that primary. However, these abilities really rolled into one headline, the First Emperor, are quite powerful and not to be overlooked. You'll join us here substantially later on. It's already 114 turns now, and we've made quite a big empire. We have explored the East Asian continent. Not much more than that, to be honest. But we have built like 10 or so cities, so we're not doing too badly, to be honest. Although you will notice that one of our newest cities, Chen, is under some significant loyalty pressure. So we have installed Moksha, where we could potentially put in Amani instead for a little extra help. But also we have a government that can help further. If we replace Charismatic Leader, for instance, with Praetorian, we can generate an additional 2 loyalty points from Moksha. We can also have a look and see. We could potentially do this because, again, we'll have him established in a few turns and we'll gain an immunity and some housing potentially. Or we could just get this right now. Let's go for this right now. Hopefully that will make a difference. We can also look to make a cultural alliance, but as you can see, we currently don't really need that, considering the city will grow, and it only has 1 point of loyalty pressure right now. If things get a little dicey, then we can make those changes. In addition, we can also see that there is this religious onslaught, this whole parade over here. Mostly from Mongolia, though there are some that are from our alliance Jayavarman of the Khmer. And we are under threat of losing our own religion. We only have a few religious units ourselves, one of them being a missionary. And while we want to protect Chen from loyalty pressure, we also want to make sure that we are not ignoring this situation. Now, in a diplomacy game, religion is, you know, secondary. You can definitely get nice pagodas at least, so that will be useful. And lastly, as I mentioned, Qin Shi Huang's kit has a really powerful builder ability, and it allows us to make some wonders, and we have indeed taken advantage of that. As you can see, we've built Temple of Artemis next to this deer. We also have made Taj Mahal, and we have also made Mahabodhi Temple, which has helped get us to our current 10 points total. So we're basically halfway in the game. We've also built Great Bar fairly early on. So something I failed to mention earlier is that this map, because it's supposed to be realistic to the actual world, actually only features 6 civilizations. So we've actually found and befriended everybody, just like a diplomatic game should, you know? So something to bear in mind that you can't always have a standard sized game, even if it's a standard sized map. I'm not sure if it is, to be honest, with every setting. Some settings are rather fixed, and so this is an example of that. Also, I would like to go back about Chen. We are still retaining it under a little bit of pressure. It's getting weaker, but we can always look to make that alliance if needed. It's probably Mongolia that is causing us all these issues. So let's go about doing that, shall we? Let's make that cultural alliance with Mongolia. Sure, whatever. I'll pay 1 gold coin. Meanwhile, speaking of loyalty flippancy, this Korean Busan city might flip to us. They just made it one size city, and it's right adjacent to our big cities, as well as having acclaimed Osaka. Now, I never really wanted this city. As you can see, it only really acquires 4 tiles, and one of them is the city center, of course, and one of them is the T. So it's not the best city in the world, but I guess we can work with it. We'll make an entertainment complex. Why not? At least it might have some impact from its local adjacency to these other cities and help boost the happiness of all 3. And welcome to the very last turn of this diplomacy game. As you can see, we have acquired not only a golden age, but 18 current diplomatic points, and with the help of an aid request from Seonduk, we have poured almost 7,000 gold in there. A little overkill, you know, but hey, it's not like they were short either. Like, that's 3.5 grand each. That's not anything small by any means. I hope you liked this video, and if you did, please remember to leave a like below, maybe a comment as well. Follow the channel, and I'll see you soon.
From your earliest desire to live in peace, to the times when you stood against aggression, you have always sought cooperation. You did not do this merely to brighten your own glory, but because dignity belongs to each of us. And in so doing, you have proved that your ancient and eternal commitment to a shared peace will be the foundation of the world of tomorrow.